here I stake my claim for Cedar City's premier climate-controlled storage. I think I can deliver.
That's it.
Okay, my name is Ben Galperson. This is Callan Webster.
What's up, guys?
Today we're on $1 million field trip to evaluate storage opportunities.
Our itinerary is packed.
I'm pumped. This is Callan's first trip since we hired him, and since he came on, he's done a lot of great work in town. But as far as a road trip, this is his first one.
The reason why we scheduled this trip is to come to Salt Lake to visit a storage facility that we have under contract. It's an off-market deal. This is just part of the due diligence period. A couple experts, a roof expert, a demolition expert, a sign expert. We had tons of people meeting us here today so that we can basically go over and underwrite and see, hey, how much is it gonna cost to flip this, to turn this facility around. After that, we're planning on going to see another deal. It's in the works. We're planning on meeting with a representative of the facility, and that's gonna be in Magna. We plan on going to see an on-market facility in Provo.
As far as the Salt Lake deal, we're really excited about that, and I'm excited as well to get his opinion on some of the other deals we have a little bit further down in the funnel. But this Salt Lake deal is going to be really good to get eyes on.
So we just have a packed day. It's gonna be super fun.
Well, you mentioned a little bit finding like that unit mix that people want.
Well, I would also say that if you build it, they will come is actually something that we have to really balance on. That's really our job, is deciding if we build what, right? Like, yes, we know that there's someone out there somewhere that there's pent up demand for storage, but making sure we're doing the right unit types is really the key. Now we're moving into Cedar City, where there's actually a really good supply of storage units. So people have said, oh, if you build storage units, they will come. But they didn't take a look at what's really in demand.
Dude, we're out here at our piece. We're in a blizzard. Who wouldn't want a climate-controlled storage unit in Cedar City?
Think about it. I mean, if you had to put your grandma somewhere, or her stuff somewhere, I think you'd want to put it in a climate-controlled facility. I could be wrong. That's where I'd want my grandma. But let's look at this property. This is pretty big property, and I think that it will, serve well for that covered RV, enclosed RV.
Part of my plan is we're gonna do climate controlled in the front, our covered RV, and then enclosed RV, and we're gonna leave the back half or third of the property raw land. The land is cheap enough that we can build out our favorite unit types as an experiment, and then once we see which units are leasing up and renting well, we can go ahead and finish the second half of the property with the unit types that have been most successful. So the land gives us enough flexibility to do proof of concept. This place is a wasteland. They need climate controlled out here. What are they thinking? They need climate control. I'm gonna freeze my balls off.
Cool. So we're just coming up on this county property right now. This is our new development project that we have under contract. We're past due diligence, so
yeah, we put a low amount of hard earnest money on this one. So it's not a great slope, but I feel like it's a slope enough.
I think we said it was around 19 feet, but we would be right off this road. And what's nice about this is we already have utilities. We have all the utilities coming to this main road. I can see us doing where you have an entrance coming off of this road, the Loves Road, and an exit, so they can just loop around and come here. But I don't feel like it's too bad. We're gonna have to do a little bit of site work on here.
But you probably want to do this, if you're gonna do high-low, you're gonna have to do site work anyways. Yeah, so this is our real piece. I think it does work for high-low.
It will, because I think we have about 19 feet in elevation. That's what they said. That's what Dallas said. And you can see Main Street. I mean, look how far up, how we're still sloping up. And even from here to the I-15, look how much we're sloping up.
I know, yeah, I think it works for high-low. So we might need to look at those numbers, just because I think we've been underwriting on one high, and the deal works one high, but let's look at two high. It's expensive land, but I think the location's good enough that it's gonna be a win. The Cedar deal is really exciting. I'm nervous about the price of the I-15 land, but I think if we go there, we get eyes on it, we can justify You know, because it's so close to I-15 and the important areas in Cedar, I think we can justify the cost. And it's important to see the slope of the land to make sure we can do our high-low plan as well.
We're going to Backdoor Burger. I am so freaking excited to go try this place.
Yeah, I hear they have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No.
And it's a burger. I'm excited too.
It's a peanut butter, jelly, bacon, hamburger.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger. So, yeah.
Let's check it out.
Let's do it.
In my role in the company, that's probably the most important job I have is networking, connecting the pieces, right? We have some of our partners that they want a long-term play so they can handle getting their money tied up for a couple years. And we have some investors that they might need checks coming back the very next quarter. So we meet with them, we get their appetites, figure out what they're looking for so we can go out and find them the right asset for them. I thought that has to be one of the best burgers of my life, for sure, in the state of Utah.
So many fries to start that I couldn't even finish my burger. I ended up finishing it anyways. Now you gotta plow it down, but really cool too of the place. Like you go in and there's like axe throwing and you gotta walk upstairs and there's, you know, I love the vibe that we had there too. It was pretty fun.
Definitely we'll swing back through tonight on our way back down.
Those other burgers on the list I wanna try.
Yeah.
We had someone else come out. I just like called a bunch of people. But one thing is like the fact that it's not steel, it's cinder block. That's good.
That's good.
That's really good. The roof is great. You know, steel, it'll last forever. There's really no leaks. But they were warning us that this gutter is not industrial, and
this is the kind of stuff we look at in due diligence. It's like, looks like it's like rotten bananas, but it's actually cinder block that's just gotten so much water in it that it's gonna have to be replaced.
This is why you'd have gutters too.
And if this doesn't get fixed, it could leak into our customer stuff. And one thing about storage units is everything's supposed to be nice, but there's one thing that has to be nice, and that's the roof. Because people, at the bare minimum, they expect their stuff to stay dry. Otherwise, they just leave it in their backyard. You know what I mean? This is like a non-negotiable due diligence item. Everything else, like the asphalt, it's like, yeah, we can let that go a little while, but this freaking rotting block is crazy to me.
Okay. Temperature control.
Put a heater in there. Say climate control. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would still kind of like having, you're at least out of the elements with something like this too. And it doesn't look like super trashy. Like I'm not like.
It looks like it was a remodel of sorts, where they kind of went in and, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe this was the original frame, but it's almost like something you think, all right, let's make a couple more smaller units out of our bigger units and make a hallway in between for access, you know?
That very well could have been the case.
And then since it looks newer, I'm suspicious that that's the case, you know? Okay, so this is something I want to point out while we're looking at properties, okay? So this looks like what, maybe a 15-foot driveway. So for me, I'm gonna be doing a lot with my moving company, getting people in here. So if I have even if I have my moving truck parked all the way across on this side, another vehicle is gonna have a really hard time getting through. So kind of a threat. And around this corner, I couldn't even get a moving truck safely around that corner. So we're gonna have to bring our trucks in and back them hundreds of yards out, which is fine. Like, the guys can do it, but I'm thinking, okay, there's a potential for my guys to kind of ding my trucks on this cement wall or ding my units, right? So it's kind of it's a problem. At the end of the day, if the asset is worth, you know, if we get it for a good enough deal, we can rent out the real estate and it's gonna work. But that's one of the things we think about.
And first thoughts are that it's gonna be a lot of work. And some of these flips are not going to be easy. We're going to have there's a lot of steps it's gonna take to get this thing flipped, you know, with managing all the current delinquents, to get people to pay their rents, get people out of cash pay back, you know, to online, to cards, filling up those rents, getting rates up to market. It's gonna be, you know, a big project, but I think it's gonna pay off in the end.
What's up, guys?
Hey, long time no see. Oh, you guys like yesterday at midnight. I know, but like one day. It's only been a day. Salt Lake stop was crazy. We had a whole crew of guys there. We had me, Callan, we had contractors for the gutters, contractors for the sign, and a couple prospective investors that want to get in the storage game as well. We kind of ambushed the nice couple that lived in the facility and, you know, started storming and asking questions. They were so generous with their time, and they kind of let us in the vault so we could see, you know, what the books really look like, what kind of processes we're gonna have to change and implement to get this facility and asset right. So it was a great stop, and I feel like it helped kind of set the stage for all the work that we have to do now to make sure that we can vet this deal right. Talking about crime, when all I have is facilities in safe areas, that is alarming, you know?
Have you seen any cameras yet?
We can try to look up and see whatever stats they have online.
I don't
for
think you're
crime.
gonna like the stats, dude. Stats are bad on the west side of Salt Lake. There's lots of residential right here and businesses, and like, I feel like if you did a good job with this place.
Like I said, everyone renting here is renting for convenience.
Yeah.
Almost every single person is because it's a good spot. Obviously, the customers that I talked to, they weren't really going for price. They looked location first, and then they'll look to see if the price is within range of everyone else, and then they're gonna go for it. That's exactly what those guys did. We're close to the fire department.
And the jail.
And the jail.
Jail's on your right, so when people get out of jail, we'll be the first complex they walk to for a place to live.
So in the Magma Deal, coming into that deal, we thought it was in much worse shape than it was. And when we first came up, it's just so weird. The feelings that you get when we went to that facility it's just not very inviting. Very beautiful facility. I feel like, you know, they wanted to make it the nicest, like concrete coated floors and things like that. I mean, they wanted to make it really high end. But I feel like there's still an opportunity there, something that, you know, was developed by, you know, big home builders, residential home builders and this happens sometimes where they throw in some storage. More so now, I feel a little bit better about the deal because there's opportunity for us to operate it at a higher level, opportunity for us to, I think, to market and get the name out of that. I think that's why that facility is struggling, because we needed to get the word out and try to market a little bit better. And anyways, it honestly felt like a prison or a school. Like when you first come in, like you don't know where the office is at. It just feels really weird. So I think if we can fix those things, it would help a lot.
Well, today was an amazing day. We just capped it off with the training meeting for the moving company. Got a huge freaking bag of canes, and we're ready to hit the road and go home. I feel like it was a success.
Let's go.
So, thanks for being a part of it. Trip overall was a blast. Our heater did go out in the truck on our way home. We were all cold, so we had to stop and get some hotties at the gas station in Beaver. But, you know, we had a blast. I feel like we achieved everything we wanted to achieve when we set out to go up there, and we had a good time doing it too. So it was a great field trip. I think it was worth the time and money we put into it, and I can't wait for our next one.